Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to Four Guys in a Bar podcast, sponsored by Chiefs Blitz and presented by Dave Purdy with Supreme Lending. For your mortgage solutions, call Dave today at 816-405-5831. That's 816-405-5831 because he's pretty good. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
That's right. Bring the house crew. We're back at the bar on a Wednesday, ready to rock and roll. We've got some, we're going to be three guys in the bar today, not four. Of course, brought to you by at Chiefs Blitz. I'm playing the role of Nick Athan today. I do have some quotes from him. So just as you're maybe like hearing from the grave, Nick will hear him from parts unknown. We just won't see him. So I got my producer here, Hense Todd, Hollywood Hense, TMZ Todd, whatever he's going by these days. You know him, you love him. There's our man. What do you got for us today, Hense?
Oh man, hey, Kareem and Dre gave me that nickname. Now it's stuck with me, Hollywood. but it's gonna be a great show. We got a great show that's coming up, man. I hope you guys stay tuned. Remember to always share away. Maybe always, hey, if you gotta go, you don't want to watch it in Twitter or Facebook. Hey, go onto our YouTube page and watch it, and go and hit that subscribe button while you're there. So let's go ahead and get into our first sponsor of the show. Let's get
all right. You know him, you love him. That good-looking guy on your screen, Eric Haynes, real estate advisor to the Stars, as well as Nick Athan and Hollywood Hense. Helping them find a home. I think Nick's really on his way to a closing. I believe that Hense is as well. Maybe he can expound on that. But Eric does a great job, obviously, for us and those guys and the community at large. Whether you're buying, selling, relocating, Eric's your guy. You can reach him at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com, as you can see plainly on your screen right there. And he, of course, is also the proud sponsor of the greatest segment on YouTube, Chief Who.
He's Who.
And here's the coach. There he is, waiting patiently in his look at that, man. He's got a picture of himself over his right shoulder. Is that the greatest flex in the world or what?
I think I still had him mute. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Man, he had you in the penalty box, man. Come on.
He did early, man. I didn't even have a
preemptive strike. You didn't even get a chance to say it.
You know what's crazy though? What if the NFL did have a penalty box where you get into a scuffle, you just turn the sidelines for a little bit instead of going to the locker room? That'd be crazy. But I like it though. I'm like, well, let them blow some steam, go on the sidelines, blow it off, and come back ready to go. Right? I like that. But what's going on, gentlemen?
All right, wait a second. Let's get into that a little bit. Who do you think would lead the league in penalty minutes?
Kelsey.
Kelsey, okay, all right.
Kelsey, come on now, come on. Let's be frank now. Kelsey's a hothead. It could be a hothead.
No, that's not a bad one at all. My money will always be on Christian Wilkins. He's all about that action, and sometimes it's well after the whistle, a little bit below the belt. But Christian Wilkins for me.
Christian Wilkins. How about you?
I'll say it probably had to be L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius Sneed has how he handled the wide receivers on the field lately. How he been jamming up people on the line and putting them on their butts. I think he will be in the penalty box very often because a lot of people will want to throw hands with L'Jarius Sneed after that. You know what I mean? So Sam said before we start the show, he said, I see that Chiefs flag in the background, but not an Arizona Cardinals flag.
Bandwagon.
Talk about Coach Dre.
I'm gonna say I'm trying to support the cause. I'm trying to support the cause right now, but pretty soon you will see a Cardinals flag behind me. Pretty soon you will see a Cardinals flag.
Our showrunners pick out all our paraphernalia, so yeah, we're not responsible. We're just a bunch of bots anyway. So gotta look good. Gotta look good for the screen, right?
Gotta look good for the screen. Absolutely.
Although I don't know if anybody noticed, but a few weeks ago I got an upgrade.
Yeah.
The back-to-back Super Bowl champs. So
yeah, I was gonna be back.
Yeah, I'll have to buy a new one, but I'm cool with that. No worries there. Well, speaking of L'Jarius Sneed, there's a lot of information out there, a lot of misinformation out there.
Right.
But our guy Nick, I'll have to go to the glasses for this because he is speaking from parts unknown, and I don't want to misquote him. He's got some information here about Sneed, so bear with me. All right, so per Nick, the latest on Sneed, he and the Chiefs continue to hammer out a long-term deal. I'm told, Nick is told, may get done by Saturday. The latest rumblings about the Titans are BS. Even Sneed referenced that on Twitter, calling out an SI writer. The Titans made no such financial offer to Sneed, and the market's relatively soft. The Colts are completely out of the mix. They also made no formal offer to Sneed or the Chiefs. Bottom line, Veach wants a number 2 at minimum before there are even talks. But the prevailing wind at Arrowhead is the two sides reach a deal that will be under the contract Sneed and his agent wanted. So there you have it from our chief insider, the latest. It's just been such a crazy thing. Everybody's wanting to break news, and I've got this, and he said that, and who knows if any of it's true. It makes for content. We get to talk about it, which is very cool. But at the end of the day, until you see him put pen to paper, or even if the agent puts out a big Chiefs tweet and L'Jarius Sneed and a pumped up number for a contract, you just never know until it's done. The deal's not done until it's done.
Right. But and Nick's been right so far. So I will say this. I will hey, if it happens and the Chiefs get this done, the Chiefs have to you have to say that the Chiefs had the best offseason so far. Agree, guys? You got to say they had the best offseason so far. They got the number 1 free agent, even though it was their own homegrown guy. They got the number 1 free agent and Chris Jones. They would get to Stan Sneed. Then they got one of the youngest wide receivers that got speed in Hollywood. And then they got their core guys are still here. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, So you have to, if this deal gets done and they struck gold with this contract, you have to say that the Chiefs have one of the best off seasons out of everybody else. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah. If they keep Sneed and you pay Chris Jones, you keep Sneed and you get Hollywood Brown, yes, they have one of the more productive off seasons in the league.
Yeah, you have to say right. Go ahead. They didn't overpay for average, right? I mean, a lot of the guys that are getting these huge contracts are good players, but they're getting big deals. And it usually, I mean, history has told us that 2-3 years down the road, these teams are always looking to get out of those deals in one way, shape, or form. It didn't work out. We talked a little bit about before the show about the money that Jerry Jeudy got. 3 years, $58 million. I think it's 41 guaranteed. He's a nice player. I mean, he really hasn't shown, that he's going to be this great wide receiver. But Cleveland, again, out of what seems like desperation, like they did with Deshaun, are paying a bunch of money. Now, I get it. That's the market. Gabe Davis, 3 years, 39. Darnell Mooney, again, same contract. So Judy's a little bit better than them. None of the three have shown the production to warrant those kind of deals, but they got him. And that's just what free agency is. And if you can keep your own guys, right?
Mhm.
And if those guys are elite players and you can keep them under the cap, yeah, absolutely. They've checked just about every box they wanted to check, I believe, in free agency. They might be looking at a tackle, maybe some bargain shopping here at the end of free agency, or at least the end of this phase of free agency. But I agree with you, Hense. I don't think there's any question they've had as good, if not the best, offseason so far.
Yeah, because it's again looking at that Jerry Jeudy contract. And looking at what Hollywood Brown got. Would you say Jerry Jeudy's better than Hollywood Brown?
If he is, he hasn't shown it yet.
Right, because maybe even though he got the contract, like I said before the show, I feel like he didn't got a fair shot. Even though he was in Denver, he didn't have that fair. I don't feel like he had a fair shot.
Right.
Actually, like with a. So now we have to see what he gonna do with the Browns. You know what I mean? He got a decent quarterback in Deshaun Watson, and he's gonna have like a core around him. Cooper Kupp, not Cooper Kupp, but Cooper. So he gonna have them out there with him. So
another Alabama guy, right?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like if when all is said and done, he can. Did you, like Lou said, did you have to pay him? Did you have to give him that much money right up? And you're still on his. He still had like one. I think this is going to be his last year on his contract. You should let him play it out, then see what you can do with him. But again, maybe they seen something in him that other teams didn't see, or with the Broncos didn't see. But man, as you look at this, as you look at everything, though, the Chiefs is still having one of the best offseason, even though and they have it all figured out at the top, where everybody else still trying to figure it out at the top. The Raiders trying to figure it out at the top. They don't have a quarterback. The Broncos don't have a quarterback, and as we sit today, the Chargers only had 2 wide receivers on their depth chart. You know what I mean? So you don't know what they're gonna do. So go ahead, Dre. What you guys say?
So let me piggyback on what y'all just said about Jerry Jeudy. Now remember when Russell Wilson was playing with him, I mean, you gotta understand, like the regime was all screwed up. It was bad offensive coaching, it was a bad coach, bad offensive line. They wasn't on the same page. So to me, I believe Jerry Jeudy is a little bit better, like as far as route running going, as far as the possession going, he is better in that on that note. But as far as like legit speed over the top, yes, Hollywood Brown. But if we really get Jerry Jeudy set in, I think a healthy Jerry Jeudy to me is better than Hollywood Brown. Because let's say this. Let me ask y'all a question real quick. Would y'all take a healthy Hollywood Brown or a healthy Jerry Jeudy with the Kansas City Chiefs?
Healthy Hollywood Brown. I've seen what
you say. All things equal. Are you
all
saying
things equal? Right?
Okay. Well, let's say Veach, would have put this contract in front of Hollywood Brown, right? And then, so if you want to make all things equal, would you pay Hollywood what the Browns are paying Jeudy? Because really, in terms of Jeudy, he's got elite talent. He just hasn't shown it. And maybe there's some things in his game, or just his love of the game, or lack thereof, or that what he's shown in Denver, that doesn't warrant them going out of their way to give him an extension. Now, I think they're betting that he's going to be a superstar and they're getting him cheap. Right. At least that's what their thinking is. I don't know if that's going to be the case. The talent is there. It just, again, a lot of times we look at the situation, you have to show that you're still going to give 100% effort and give 100% on every play. And again, just what's been reported and what you've seen when he does play is doesn't always seem to be there. Regardless of your situation, if you're not showing full effort, I don't know that warrants, a big extension like that. But to answer your question, for what they got Brown versus what they're paying Jeudy, I'm going to take Hollywood Brown every day of the week.
Right. Because they giving Hollywood Brown that, that one, even though they broke it down, they said, hey, it's a one deal worth $7 million, up to $11 million. If he gets 5 TDs, he get an extra $500K. 6 TDs, you get another $250K. 7 TDs, another $250K. If you get a 500 yards season, you get a $500K. If you get a 625 yard season, you get, the list goes on and goes on and goes on.
And those are all achievable. I don't think he doesn't have to like really be a superstar to hit those. Mm-hmm. So he's betting on himself, and he's saying, okay, I get another shot at the market next year, and I'm going to get a chance to make 11 million, maybe get a ring to boot, and then next year I'm a free agent again, and I can cash in big time, whether it's here in Kansas City or somewhere else.
Well, I'm gonna pick back on what y'all just said about the comparison between Jerry Jeudy and Hollywood Brown. Me looking at the stat wise, Jerry Jeudy is a better receiver for what he had with Russ over there in Denver. He got more yards. Also, he averages catch 14 after every catch. So you look at Jerry Jeudy, his production over there with Denver from the wasteland over there this year, last year. I mean, he was still producing. Compared to Hollywood only had about five and a possible. He averages by 11 point some yards per catch. So if you look at the production wise from both of them, Jerry Jeudy is more productive from what he had. And then you put a Jerry Jeudy with a Patrick Mahomes, I thought he would excel more than Hollywood Brown would because he can run the route tree.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like he's more all around though. But I'm just saying, if you comparing both of those two, like side by side, who would you pick in free agency? I would probably say Jeudy because he's a more well-rounded wide receiver.
Well, the Chiefs had plenty of opportunity to see Jerry Jeudy and the players covering him and so forth. So I'm not saying that Veach is going to the players, but I got to believe that they would have as good, if not better, experience in facing Jeudy and knowing, okay, this is kind of what he is. Do we want him as part of our team? Now, the other thing is they'd have to give up. They would have had to trade for him. He was not a free agent.
Right.
So again, it's subjective. I mean, I'm glad they got Hollywood for what they did. Let's see if he's the player he thinks he is and the player that the Chiefs thinks that he can be. And I guess the point of all of this was, are the Browns, again, acting in desperation? Because it just seems like some of the contracts that they give these guys are really bets on what they can be, which, again, is kind of what you're doing. But they haven't shown the ability to do that, in good fashion. I mean, obviously, I think any free-thinking person would want that Deshaun Watson deal back because, I mean, he would have had to have been like above Patrick Mahomes for all of that to make sense.
Yeah, what the Browns are doing is, like everybody else is doing, they trying to figure out how to get to the Super Bowl, trying to win one, and when the Kansas City Chiefs already figured it out. So what they said in the comments, right?
Well, let me get to some of these comments. Edwards says this. Mr. Freeway said, just because his stats look better don't mean he will fit in our program the same. We have what do you say? He said we have seen lots of players excel in programs, then not do the same in other ones. Absolutely. Freeway, I'm gonna say this. It's all about the scheme you win. And Hollywood would excel in what Andrew wants to do. Hollywood can he's a good what I want to say, you can put him, he's a yard after the catch guy, right? He got good hand, he can take the ball over the top with that speed. Absolutely. He's a great screen guy too. Good screen guy, good speed, good agility. He has all that. You know what I'm saying? Because he would fit under Andy Reid, under the West Coast offense. So I do agree with that. Sam says this. Sam says, better, you have lost it. I guess he's talking about Hollywood Brown over Jeudy. That's fine, sir.
Yeah, you did lost it, Jerry. You losing it.
That's fine. Frank says, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Frank. Cheers to you. The Crown Royal is flowing at the bar.
All right, then Tilly says this. Tilly says, on top of free agency, there is the draft tour.
Yes, there is a draft.
Veach has done well in the draft since taking over as GM. And I totally agree with you, Tilly. Totally agree with you. Let me see. We got Trahan been eating. Well, she says this. She says, we have the need for Sneed, right? And then she says Judy is overpaid. You know, that's yet to be seen. We'll see this year. We'll see this year, though.
He overpaid. I would you do. But again, like I'm gonna go back to this. You know what I mean? Like still on subject. Sam said he is not worth of any of that money. Judy is a number wide receiver 3 at best. I kind of agree with that. Like I won't pay them all that money. I wouldn't, because if you look at Hollywood Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we look at Hollywood Brown, he still had all that trouble with the Cardinals. They had backup quarterback, this quarterback. He still was producing, right? He still was putting out. He was still putting out, good product. Even though he was in a running scheme, he still put up good numbers with the Ravens, with Baltimore. So if you look at Judy, man, like he had this quarterback, that quarterback, that quarterback. Mm-hmm. He still ain't had no good numbers. He still wasn't that guy. He still wasn't. Yeah, he still wasn't. Even Steve Smith Sr. was on his case for how bad he was playing. You know what I mean? And so
he only had one bad season. He only had one bad season, though. Honestly, when Judy's healthy, Judy been very productive in Denver. He just had one bad season.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see it that way. I mean, he's had some flashes and so forth. But again, we can argue about Judy as a player and everything else. And like you said, Steve Smith has come out against him. Mark Schlereth, he's got the radio show in Denver, played for the Broncos. I mean, he just unloaded on Judy.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
his lack of being a willing blocker, which you know he's not really paid to be a blocker. But by the same token, you know, if your team is running the ball or he's not running his full out, if he's not the the number one read, he's not running through his route. So again, you're gonna all about that. But the bottom line is, and I think where the whole point of this is to see one organization that is in desperation mode, overpaying for potential versus another one, a championship organization, and rewarding the guys that they drafted that have become elite players and paying them accordingly. So, you know, it really speaks to, you know, just kind of both ends of the spectrum, not picking on the Browns, but we're picking on the Browns because they kind of bring a lot of this on themselves. So,
and he is young too. Sneed, I mean, Judy's only 24.
They both are. They're both.
Yeah, I'm saying both young.
They're both young guys. Plenty of opportunity to right the ship and kind of rewrite the narrative. So let's see. But again, I mean, it just seems awfully strange if they came out with that type of extension before they even get on the field. You know.
And the key word in this though, Lou, is consistency. Now, if he's to come out here and play consistent this year, then it's a different ball game. Because what I'm hearing, like what I'm seeing in the comment section, is consistency. Even Steve Smith say consistency. So if he changes the narrative and be more consistent, we'll see the best out of Jerry Jeudy. And who knows? He might lead the league. Who knows? But it's just his consistency. But you know what we're getting from Hollywood Brown, though. You know what we're getting from when he's banged up. He's not
lead the league. Dre, stop it.
I'm saying a possibility. I'm saying a possibility. Who knows? Who knows in the NFL? We don't know.
It's too much of that carrot juice of you over there, Jake.
Yeah.
That's all. Let me ask you.
You're gonna lead the league. What you mean lead the league?
Jerry Jeudy is not a bad receiver. It's just he's being inconsistent. He's not bad.
No, nobody said he was bad. I think just the whole premise was, what are the Browns doing? You know, spending that kind of money. Almost, I don't want to say sight unseen, but somebody that really hasn't been consistent, that has kind of earned it. So they're going, you know, they're paying for potential. They're betting on him being that consistent receiver, being a productive receiver, and then that contract will look like a great bet on their part moving forward. But and then the other piece is, why are they collecting all these quarterbacks? I think they signed. Now they used a lot last year, but I think they've got like 4 quarterbacks now under contract. They get Deshaun, Jameis, Snoop Huntley. They still got DTR that they drafted. So everything they do is just a little off. But Anyway,
I think they're trying to be 5 steps ahead of the game. I think they're trying to make sure everything, we got some good backup, But
I don't
again,
know, man.
so Freeway says this. Freeway says, so who y'all think is going to have a better season this year? That's a good question. Since we talking about it, who do y'all feel is going to have a better season this year? Hollywood
Well,
Brown.
let's get right into it. It's choose your wide receiver duo. I feel like it's going to be a duo over here. Who's going to have the better the season? I'm taking Hollywood Rasheed Rice, or you can take DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, the old guys, Calvin Ridley, and Hopkins. I'm taking whoever got Patrick Mahomes on their team. You know what I mean? So I feel like Hollywood Brown, he finally got in the offense where he can excel in. Like if he can finally get used like he want to be used. He tried to go back and team up with his college teammate, his best friend. But sometimes
the great Kyler Murray, right?
Not the great Kyler Murray,
whatever.
More sitting in a wheelchair, Kyler Murray. But other than that, man, if you had to choose either one of these guys, any one of these duos, who you rolling with, Lou?
Well, the guys at the top more than likely. I mean, you've got individually you can look at it, but the receiver is only good as the guy throwing the ball. So one group is going to have a rookie throwing. The other group is going to have a second-year guy that basically will be a rookie starting in Will Levis in Tennessee. And then you've got at the top, arguably the greatest ever. So I'm taking the guys at top. Yeah, I sound like a homer. Sure, I've got a bias, but
that's real talk.
But you gotta factor in who's throwing the ball. So I'm gonna go with Hollywood and Rasheed.
I'll say this. I go with coaching and Andy Reid and how he gets the best out of his guys he brings to the table. I think he's going to utilize the mess out of Hollywood Brown for real. He's going to put him in great positions. So I'll start coaching first. So I would definitely go with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen because them are two vets. Honestly, I'll go with Andy Reid. I'll go with Andy Reid and them boys, man, because you got Patrick Mahomes. A guy's going to give you the ball. He's going to put you in the right place. He never misses a target for real. He's going to put the ball right on the money. So Hollywood's going to eat. He's going to eat. So I would definitely.
So like they said, man. So why Jerry Jeudy is not on here?
Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood. Why is he not on there? Hollywood.
No. He was like, nah, hold on. Why y'all ain't put Jerry Jeudy on there? Because we know we put Jerry Jeudy. Cooper and Jeudy or what? But you don't know you don't know if Deshaun Watson going to use too much lotion one day to slip in the back. You don't know what's going to happen with the Browns. You don't know what's going to happen with the Browns. You don't know if they're going 1 minute they're going to have one quarterback or they're going to have Joe Flacco or 16 quarterback. So you can't. That's how Pro Football Focus is looking at it. Like, okay, we know these duos, that duo, but hey, the wide receiver room ain't done getting put together. I feel like they probably go get an AD Mitchell. They probably go get a Troy Franklin. They probably go get a Xavier Worthy in the draft. Or it could be sneaky. They probably go get Brandon Rice in the second round. You never know, because the duo is going to be a trio. It's going to be a trio of them out there. You know what I mean? Then you got everybody throwing Tony under the bus, but Tony still still got something to prove. Sky Moore still got something to prove too. So you know what I mean. So you gonna have Dak on deck. So again, as you look at this list, guys, hey, Hollywood Brown, Rasheed Rice, and you got that. That's gonna be another good. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, yeah, and plus they probably add Marvin Harrison there too. You know what I mean? Or they probably add a Doomsday with the 9th pick. You know what I mean? So they probably gonna have a trio there. So they, Caleb Williams coming straight out of college. Could be doing great there, but Kyler really and John J. Hopkins is kind of iffy there because, Levis, even though he had a good ending of the year, but you don't know what you're gonna get from the Titans because they do new head coach, new program, new this. You don't know what you're gonna get from the Titans, but you know what you're gonna get from DeAndre Hopkins. He always
A
gonna
good
put up
possession receiver, sir. A good possession receiver.
He gonna put up where he goes. He gonna put
Well,
up
he
where he
did put
goes.
it. He had a bunch of over the top plays once Levis took over because he could throw the ball deep. Now the other piece of that is, I mean, looking closely at the graphic, it's PFF, fantasy, and betting. So if you're looking purely for like fantasy numbers, Tennessee probably be behind in a lot more games, so they'll be chucking it around. Maybe from a fantasy perspective, Ridley and Hopkins might put up better numbers, but in terms of just winning games, I'm going to go with Hollywood and Rasheed. So I just wanted to clarify that.
You know what's crazy? That's a good point. I think looking at this duo, I think the way the Chiefs run their offense, guys, they're gonna pass the ball to everybody. So these guys might not even have 1,000 yards for. They might even have that because the way you still got to put Watson in there, you still got to put Sky Moore in there. So everybody gonna get a chance to touch the ball. So if you look at it from their perspective, as far as them sharing the ball, they're not gonna have probably both of them probably might not even make 1,000 yards apiece for real because they're gonna spread the ball around. Remember, we still got Travis Kelce in there too. Honestly, so if you look at the target wise, it's gonna be shared, it's gonna be split. So
Before you get into the comments, we had 885 people in here. Go ahead and subscribe away. Go to YouTube and subscribe away. Share.
It doesn't hurt to hit the button, folks. And plus, you get those alerts. So when we do shorts or when we come in with breaking news, if you would. I am stealing that from the Saturday Bowtie Show because they break some news on that show. So check them out at 1 p.m. Central on Saturday. There you go.
1 p.m. on Saturday. Also check out pros like us, man. With Lou and them, man, they do a good job over there too. So hey, what they said in the chat, Drake? What they said in the chat?
Okay, here we go. I'm about to get to it now. I'm telling you, if
Freeway's getting a lot of run today.
Yeah, he is. Hey, it's a freeway. So I'm telling you, if we get our over the top passing back with this defense, we look out NFL, right? And then my main man Sam says this. He said, with our defense staying intact this upcoming season, Andy is going to build the ultimate offense. I definitely agree. St. Clair says still need a running back, still would like to see them bring back McKinnon as a third down guy. I think he has another year left in him on a 1-year contract.
And hold on, what Kareem say?
Kareem said Xavier Worthy means undefeated three-peat. You know what? Xavier Leggett to me. I like Leggett. I like Leggett, man. I like from South Carolina. I like Leggett.
And his voice, man, like he'll fit the Chiefs very well. Like how he talk, like his accent. I'm like, he probably will. But like I told you, Drake, when we first started this, I said Brandon Thomas and Brandon Rice. Y'all better watch out for Rice.
Brian Thomas was your guy. Brian Thomas. Remember, guys, y'all watch this podcast. Brian Thomas is his guy. All right,
he is
one guy. Brian Thomas
in the draft. But even though if guys wherever we draft, the Chiefs Kingdom will take him with open arms. It doesn't matter. But again, Brian Thomas, my favorite guy in this draft as a receiver is Brian Thomas. Mm-hmm. No, hands down, no bet about it. I feel like he's better than Marvin Harrison. I feel like he's better than Neighbors. Even Neighbors.
Hold on, pickle juice. I don't know about that one, sir.
I know Neighbors. Everybody said Neighbors is number one.
That's everybody, sir.
Everybody. But again, I feel like it was Neighbors' other neighbor. On the other side of him. I feel like it was. I feel like it's Thomas Jr. Okay. The feel like the way he's big, he's physical, he's fast, the way he catches the ball, man. I feel like if he falls in the Chiefs' lap, I know a lot of people saying Xavier Worthy. If Xavier Worthy wasn't ran that time, everybody be talking about Brian Thomas Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Can y'all agree? He killed it at the combine.
Yeah. Well,
everybody be talking about him
once he ran that time, that elevated. I mean, it wasn't like he came out of nowhere. I mean, he was a very good player leading up to that. And everybody knew he was fast. He's like track speed guy. So And we talked a little bit about that last show, like comparing Quez Watkins and McCole Hardman, straight line speed. Now, again, I don't, from a route running ability, I mean, maybe Dre would have some notes on this. I don't know if he's quite that guy.
Right. Good
and
point.
I don't know.
Good point.
And
Good
actually,
point.
a lot of them, because again, in these college offenses, you don't see a lot of that. You see a lot of go routes. You see a lot of over routes. And so, which is perfectly fine. You need those guys too. But again, I think Brian Thomas is always going to be a top 5 receiver in this group all day long, right? Regardless of neighbors on the other side or whatever. So he just has that kind of ability all around: speed, size, route running, can track the deep ball. That's, unquestioned. Now, some of the guys that are going to be available down at the bottom, that's when you start getting into, there's, like I said, I think there's probably like 18 to 20 receivers that you could are certainly draftable in the first 2 or 3 rounds. And there's probably another 10 guys after that will go later. So plenty of ability there. And again, if you look at it again, like your receiving room, building it like a basketball team, maybe that other big bodied guy is the way to go, like a Brendan Rice a little bit later in like the second round. Javon Baker from UCF. I've been talking about him for the past few weeks, but maybe in the second round.
He's good too. He's good. He's solid too.
Roman Wilson, I still like him, but again, you throw Hollywood in there, and you're kind of now you're getting a similar size. Their whole they're almost like mirrors of each other, right? So there's plenty of guys out there, and we'll be hitting those as we move forward. What's next? Where's our guy Purdy?
So speaking of that, let's go ahead and get into our next sponsor. I was going to bring in the next topic, but let's get into the next.
Let's get him out there.
Let's strike, get it in. Dave Purdy here, guys. Go ahead, Lou.
All right. So he was our founding sponsor, Dave Purdy, mortgage guy, of course, extraordinaire, helping Nick through his path of finding the new home and then paying for it. So we help you with Eric, and then Dave comes in at the back end and get you financed and get you into that home. So Dave Purdy from Supreme Lending, you can reach him at 816-405-5831, or you can email him at dave.purdy@supremelending.com. For those of you that can't see the stream, it's right there in front of you. And of course, we love Dave because he's pretty good. Pretty good.
So
damn good.
Speaking of pretty good, guys, Netflix have released, they had a quarterback, thing. Now they got the wide receiver thing. Are you guys going to tune in this summer and watch this? You got Avante Adams, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Debo Samuels, Rossop, whoever they Brown, whatever from the Lions.
Brown, yeah,
from the Lions. So what are you guys? What player are y'all going to lock in and go if y'all going to watch this? So what player are y'all going to lock in or tune in? They should have left out Travis Kelce because we would love to see Travis Kelce.
Wow, that would have been a whole different ball game. The ratings on that,
a whole different vibe.
The Swifties streaming that show. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, all of them have, Devontae going through the season he did last year with the quarterback issues. He's not afraid to speak his mind. Justin Jefferson, he was injured part of the year. So again, arguably the best receiver in the league right now. Interesting that they threw a tight end in there. Maybe because they were following Debo around. The Kittle is just such a star and just is a magnet for the camera that they throw him in as well because they were in San Francisco. And then Amon-Ra. I mean, his story is amazing, and it was pretty well told when they were on Hard Knocks, not this last summer, but the previous one, where his dad is a former Mr. Olympia, big bodybuilder. His brothers, Equanimous, and I can't remember the third, but they all played receiver. Their dad had them all working out at early ages. So, I mean, that'll be a great story too. But I guess the best one for us, I believe, will be Debo and George as they're walking off the field in the Super Bowl, and kind of how that felt, especially Kittle after, a few years back, and he goes, I'll be back here. He was mic'd up. I'll be back. Well, he came back and the result didn't really change. So
still got Stone Cold Stunner by Patrick Mahomes.
That's just the needle in me saying that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I want to see. I really want to see. Vontae Adams. I want to see how he still put up good numbers with without Rodgers. He's still that at Rodgers, but came to the Raiders, and he had Derek Carr there. Then Derek Carr left, and now they got this quarterback, that quarterback, and now they don't know. Now they don't have a quarterback. It's still going into the draft. So I want to see what goes on with him. And then my second person will be Justin Jefferson. I want to see how he practice, how he run his set up for his routes. I also want to see that mic'd up between him and L'Jarius Sneed. How do he handle that after the game? So what you guys say about this, Coach?
Man, I'm more excited to see George, man. I think George is somewhat close to Travis Kelce. Both of them do the same thing. Personality probably just as similar. I'm looking forward to see George Kittles and also Debo. But Debo speaks his mind. Debo is animated too, so I would definitely love to see those two. So, I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely excited to see it, man.
I am too. It's just kind of sad that no other quarterbacks in the league. I mean, it was like every story that came out was every quarterback that turned it down. And like nobody wanted that noise around him during the course of the season. And I think that's what makes, the initial offering from those guys such a great show to go back to with Patrick and Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, hey, be looking for it this summer. It's coming out. So, hey, I can't wait to see it. You know what I mean? What I can't wait to see is the Chiefs. Who do you have it for us today? Because people in the chat are asking.
Come on, Hollywood, strike up the band. Let's go.
Because everybody asking about it. Everybody asking about this.
Go.
You got us last time. So what you going to
for those
play the game of people?
Yeah, for those of you non-regulars, we came up with this little game here where it's kind of like a guess who. I'll read off a bunch of clues. You can kind of jump into the chat there and say who you think it might be. It's certainly a Chief, hence the name. Well, no pun intended. Hence the name Chief Who. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's if you want to bet on this, that's up to you. Gambling is encouraged since it's legal now. So let's go for it. Hence, come on, strike up the band.
Who we got on the list? Let's see. Go ahead.
There we go. All right. I got to wait for the music, man. You got to set the mood. Okay. All right. So, where I start always as a high school player. He was a 4-star recruit. He was ranked 3rd nationally at his position. Initially, he was to be an Aggie, but then decommitted and went to a different school. Wow.
Somebody said Gary said Derek Thomas.
No, not Derek. This is I'll give you another clue. It's a current Chief. All right. Okay. So he decommitted, and while at his school, he was Conference Player of the Year at his position twice. So back-to-back years, he was the best player in his conference at his position.
Hollywood Brown.
No. In terms of what he does, he's a bit of a unicorn in the NFL. And as that unicorn, he probably has an unofficial NFL record in 2 Super Bowls?
Harris Bucker.
It is not. This guy actually might be the only guy on the team that can become a real Chief.
That's the only team that can become a real Chief.
Long pause.
So go with the first one. You said he's a 4-time recruit, correct?
Four-star player in high school. I still have a couple more clues.
I'll go ahead.
Johnson, not Nazir Johnson. Forgot what his name was.
Nazi, he was the last one. That was last. You're a little late.
Okay, you're good. Good
last
day.
week.
You're right.
He's a real boomer of a player.
Good clue. Good
Nick
clue.
Bolton.
Marilee Winchester. That I'm gonna have to save that one. And the last
Gary said Plunkett.
Who the hell is that? like Jim Plunkett, the old Raiders quarterback from 100 years ago? Come on, Gary. All right, the last clue. Played with 3 different quarterbacks in college. 2 of them were overall number 1 picks, and 1 started a Super Bowl.
So he got to be on the offensive side.
Not necessarily.
He played with
can be.
he go back to the Super Bowl one. He said, what about the Super Bowl?
He's the first one. So it's an unofficial NFL record.
I want to say Creed Humphrey.
There it is. John Harrison, you're our winner. It's Creed. It is Creed. All right. So he initially committed to Texas A&M and then decommitted and went to Oklahoma. He's a unicorn in the NFL because he's a left-handed snapper. And that's also, he's on record as the only left-handed snapper in Super Bowls. He's he is a tribal member of he's an American Indian of the Potawatomi Nation. So he's an indigenous Indian, indigenous American. What else? Boomer Sooner, right? And then while he was at Oklahoma, Baker, Kyler, and then Jalen Hurts started the Super Bowl. Good job, John Harrison.
That was a good one. That was he got it. He got it.
And that was Chiefs Who, brought to you by Eric Haynes.
Our guy, Eric Haynes of the Eric Haynes Group. And you can see how to contact him there on your screen. Another Chief Who in the books. Thanks for playing, gang.
So when Nick get back, we will find out what you won. Write down that name and let's go ahead. I'm gonna put it in this thing for you can we can know who got the right answer, and there was John Harrison. There we go. We put him in.
Yes, Ken. He does have to correct those snaps. And Nick was all over that a week ago.
All over. You remember?
All over. And speaking of the guy that be all over it, man. We want to give a shout out to Andy Reid. His birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday to you.
Shout out to the big guy.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Andy Reid.
Big Red.
Andy Reid came over to the Chiefs and changed the culture for real.
To you.
The culture was, we didn't know what we was gonna have at quarterback. We didn't know what we was gonna do with this team, but Andy Reid came and made it a winning culture. For real, they set up an amazing team. Thank God that Clark Hunt met him at the airport, and because they said the rumor is, the rumor is that he was on his way to Arizona. They said he was on his way to Arizona. He was on the way to Arizona to get to the desert, but the Chiefs swooped in and picked him up at the airport. So
Clark
what do y'all
what offer he couldn't refuse?
So what as you've been a long time Chiefs fan, Lou,
Yeah.
how do you feel about Andy Reid coming on and changing the culture of the Kansas City Chiefs? How do you feel about it?
Well, I was excited because at the time, he was a really, really good coach, right? The knock on him was he couldn't win the big game, and it wasn't like he did poorly in Philadelphia. He'd been around winning programs, worked under Mike Holmgren, had success in Philadelphia, where that is not an easy city to coach, and to last 14 years there, whatever it was. So it was exciting times. Like, okay, we got a real coach, because some of the other guys that they had before that in the just immediate past before him, it was some retreads, it was some rolls of the dice. And Vincent, yeah, there it is. Coach Big Red's going to throw out the first pitch at the Royals game. And as I tweeted in the group chat, damn sure he's going to fire a strike.
I want to make sure I get the perfect picture, because I'll be there in the dugout dodging balls. Oh, not them.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news.
Dodging the ball.
Dodging balls. All right, cool.
Stop it, Dre. Well, you know what I mean. But again,
don't let us interrupt your lunch, Coach. Go right ahead.
We over there eat peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Ain't got no milk.
A beautiful low fat cracker.
What? Well, again, this could all come been done without Andy Reid. Now he don't have Belichick is not here, so he can get all the rings he got. What coach in the league going to stop Andy Reid from getting another ring?
Rich Gannon.
What coach? Who?
Jonathan Gannon.
Who? Can we get that on Chiefs? Who? Who's that?
Jonathan Gannon. Don't worry about it. You would know who Jonathan Gannon is.
Who's that? But again, it's been amazing having him here, man. Hey, a lot of people saying that he was going to retire, but no, he have not. He's coming back to get that three-peat. Now they signed Hollywood Brown. I can't wait to see what they do in this draft. Andy Reid has been unstoppable. Hey, they do, but I'll say they need to get a wide receiver in the second round. But again,
yeah, second round, yeah, I agree with that one. Second round.
Again, happy birthday to Andy Reid. So before we get out of here, go ahead and get the shout outs and me. Go in the chats and ask some of these questions, because some people ask some of these questions about.
Yes, sir, Hollywood. I'm not sure what. Let me wipe the crumbs off my mouth. All right, here we go. All right, Curry's a great player, but got to get those shotgun snaps. Where's Lou first? Hey, Lou. Excuse me, Lou answered. Well, let's see. Let's go way up to the tippity top, guys, because it was a question that I wanted to get to, but I didn't get a chance to. Freeway asked this. He said, "Will this tight end we got from Cincy play a big part this year?"
I'll say so. I feel like he's gonna come up. Like I said on the last show, I feel like he's gonna come in and give some competition to Noah Gray, because there was a rumor out there that Noah Gray was considering retirement. You know what I mean? But that haven't became true, so I don't know where that rumor came from. But it was all on Twitter. But again, so if they bring him in and they match him up, with Noah Gray, and the only thing he can do is learn from Travis Kelce. So I feel like he could be a breakout player like a Drew Tranquil. He could be this could be his year to do a little bit of breakout player. But again, it's all what Andy Reid's going to do and how they use him. But again, I feel like they still should go draft a tight end in this draft, because it is the one I like is from K-State. You know what I mean? I feel like he's one of a heck of a tight end too. So if they go get him and bring him in here, so in the third round maybe. Because you think about it, Kelce was drafted in the third round. Kittle was drafted in the fifth or sixth. You know what I mean? So you still can find some great players. You know what I mean? And you think about it, Kyle Pitts was drafted in the first round, and he definitely ain't had no season like George Kittle or Travis Kelce. These guys was drafted in the later rounds. And like Dre said that you looking into this draft, you're not looking into like, hey, all the first round, because the more likely the first round is more likely going to be a bust.
Right.
You look back in the history of the first round, all them great, Rice, all these great players, came from like the second, third, fourth. So you got to do your due diligence and go out here and recruit these players and really look into them. But I feel like the guy from K-State, his name is, I know Lou had that tight end.
Ben Sinnott.
Yeah. I like his gameplay. I feel like he will fit the Chiefs very well. I feel like, he will be a Travis Kelce if he can really learn it. I know Blake Biles is the top guy, but again, the question was if Smith gonna come in to be a great player. I feel like he is.
Well, typically free agency gives you an idea of which way a team might go in the draft, right? So they get a tremendous first round talent. I mean, he's got all the athletic ability in the world in terms of Irv Smith. So I think they're going to get, and it's only a 1-year deal, so they're going to give him every opportunity to work in. If they were to draft the tight end later in the draft, they might, if somebody falls into their lap where they thought maybe he wasn't available. But again, I don't think that person is going to get a ton of playing time right off the bat. So, and I would say the same thing about Irv Smith is that you'll see flashes and you'll see times where he plays, but he's not going to get the same number of snaps that a Drew Tranquil got on defense last year.
Right.
Unless, of course, there's an injury. So 13 personnel, absolutely. Do they bring back the Belldozer to be the fourth tight end? If they don't, then maybe they do draft a guy to be that fourth tight end, if in fact they keep him, because if they're not keeping a fullback, then they probably will go with 4 tight ends, right? And last year, I think, was the first year Andy Reid did not have a true fullback on the team. So Irv Smith, he has every athletic ability to do it. Let's see if he can learn the offense, get on the same page as Patrick during the summer. And again, it's not going to be some huge breakout. He might catch 25, 30 passes. Maybe he's a red zone target on certain types of plays, but it's unless there's an injury at that position, he's not going to get a ton of snaps.
Good point. All right. My next question, Frank says this. Does Wanda have what it takes to
Wayne
start
Morris
left tackle? What you say?
Wayne Morris.
Wanye
Morris.
Yes. Another.
Hey man,
another
I'm talking about, man.
Another Oklahoma Sooner. He's shown he played like a rookie last year. I mean, and it's arguably the toughest position in the league outside of quarterback to play, because you're playing against like elite athletes coming off the edge. And if you're not an elite athlete yourself, there's going to be plays that you're going to look silly. And it did happen. But I think there was enough good there. They've got something to build on. I don't know if they're comfortable with him being entrenched as the starter right off the bat. But right now, if they were to play a game this weekend, he'd be the starting left tackle. So we'll see what happens at the end of free agency. And of course, if one of those top guys falls in the draft, absolutely, they'll grab one of those. Another Oklahoma Sooner, our guy Guyton, the offensive tackle. So
I feel like looking at him, he's well, he's built to be a left tackle. He's 6'5". I think he's 327. I maybe I know he's 6'5", 3 something. But he has some good games. But he is a dog in the running game. I can give him that much. So if they do, I feel like he gonna work hard this offseason to bring him along, because they did get him in the 3rd round, correct? I think they did get him 3rd round last year. Maybe they bring back Smith, but other than that, maybe they go tackle the 1st round. And a lot of Chiefs fans ain't gonna be happy because it ain't a flashy pick. But you can't but they can go wide receiver in the first round and go second round because this draft is loaded with wide receivers, tackles, and depth at corner. Correct,
DBs, wide receivers, and tackles.
Yeah, so the Chiefs can draft a big home run hitter at 31 at like an AD Mitchell or a Worthy, or a lot of people are sleeping on Dez Walker. They can get a Dez Walker there, you know what I mean? Or they can get a Brian Thomas Jr. I keep on saying the name right, Brandon right?
No, Brian.
Brian. Okay, they can get him, or it's a lot of people they can get there, or they can get a Troy Franklin. But again, if they take a left tackle there, it's some guys that is coming from K-State. It's a guy that's coming from the other guy that's on the other side of the guy in Alabama. I think he's about like 6'8", maybe 6'9". He's the biggest guy, but he be mauling people down. I keep on forgetting his name though. But
there's 5 or 6 tackles that are going to go and probably go in the first round. I mean,
right?
Everybody's looking for that position. Now, if one of those 5 or 6 guys is sitting there at 32, there's a good chance the Chiefs take him. They're not going to reach for a tackle just because they need a left tackle. If the wide receiver they like is there, and the offensive linemen and the defensive linemen aren't there, you might see a trade back, or they just go ahead and take their guy. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, if one of those top tackles falls, I think they will jump on him.
Right. So, you can get them in a second. I feel like they're going to take a tackle first or the second, the first pick or the second pick. One of the two. That's what they're going to take. But again, guys, we're going to go ahead and get it right back to our sponsor before we close out here. Because we are at I think let me look at the number. We at 1,107.
I think Mary Lee just broke some news. 50 Shades just had a baby girl.
Okay. So,
Noah, congratulations, 50 Shades.
Congratulations, Noah.
I might be the only one in the world that calls him that. I hope he doesn't take offense to it. I mean it in the most loving way. I'm the biggest Noah Gray fan on this show and maybe any show, but
absolutely,
I love me some Noah Gray, man.
So Sam says real quick, Bo, Hollywood. Sam says this. He said the Chiefs' first pick will be an offensive player, and I do believe that, but I believe they go tackle in the first round.
I think they're gonna go wide receiver. You can't let all these top wide receivers just slide.
But they be in the second round. Though, Bo. That's
a Veach thing.
That's a Veach thing to figure out. But hey,
been his history. But again, there's never been.
So you said if AD Mitchell was there at 32, would you not be on Veach heels like, hey, you better take AD Mitchell?
That's the guy I'm seeing if he dropped. Yeah, absolutely. But I still say that's what I would do. But I think what he would do is, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. If one of those top 6 tackles is available,
right,
and the receivers are still there, he's probably going to go with the tackle.
Knock on wood. This is an injury lead. Knock on wood. It's an injury read. So if you got Rice to go down, now you're going to be stuck with Scott Moore, Tony.
They're still going to draft a receiver later on.
Right. But I'm saying, like, but you got one of those top guys there. You know what I mean?
My point is, I don't think there's a chance one of those tackles gets to 32.
Right.
That's true.
There's too many teams that need offensive linemen, and especially guys that can play right or can play tackle in this league, that they're at a premium. Wide receivers, there's plenty of those, and I'm guessing the wisdom out there is going to be you can get good receivers throughout the draft. Those tackles, though, there's only like 6 or so that people project high. Now, I like the kid that played right tackle at Washington, Rosengarten, but he's going to be later in the draft. And I think he plays right. He played right tackle there, but again, he's got a lefty quarterback. So he was the blindside guy. I think he has the ability to play left tackle. And I think, again, that might be kind of a low key sleeper, but second or third round isn't much of a sleeper.
Right.
I definitely agree.
So let's go and get into our sponsors before we close out. Luke, go ahead.
All right, there he is again. Look at that guy. He might be as good looking as Noah Gray. Eric Haynes, our guy, real estate advisor to the stars, including Nick Athan and TMZ, Todd, Hollywood Hense. They can speak to what his level of service is, and evidently it is like he's with you the whole process, whether you're buying, selling, leasing, relocating, whatever you need. Eric Haynes is your guy. You can reach him at 816-729-3785 and also at esellskc@gmail.com. Of course, he's the proud sponsor of Chief Who. And once you find that house, you got to pay for it. That's the hurtful part. But Dave Purdy will make that process for you much easier. You can reach our man Dave at 816-405-5831 or email Dave Purdy at supremelending.com. We love Dave because he's
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty. All right, so listen, we know my take. Let's give a shout out to Sam. Sam doing Sam. Sam, he's a big Chiefs guy. You know, he said go wide receiver, but I said go tackle anyway. Give a shout out to Edwards. Give a shout out to Trahan, St. Clair, John from Winning Chiefs. Who got a nice package coming from you, John? A nice package coming from you from Nick. Nick is gonna bless you, John. Gary, what up, Gary? Let's see here. Let's see. Make sure I don't forget nobody. St. Clair, Freeway, Frank. What's going on, Frank? Joe, what's going on, Joe? Tilly T. What is the word of the day? All right.
So with that said, man, hey, we again, it's at 1,129. You guys in here, go to Chiefs Blitz at www.youtube.com/Chiefs Blitz to subscribe away. Hey, we do this show because we love you guys, and I know you guys love to watch us, and I know y'all love to watch Dre eat his peanut butter and dry jelly sandwiches.
I keep the healthy snacks on deck.
But again, we miss it. We miss it. The boss baby.
He forgot this is a visual medium,
right? You know, so we miss it. The boss baby. You know, the Chiefs insider, the OG Nick. You know me on the show. So we got Lou down here too. So again, you can follow. You know, you want to see more of us. We be on here on Monday at 12 noon, Wednesday at 12 noon with your Chiefs Who news, and we be on Friday at 12 noon. Then we be on Saturday on Bow Tie Sports at 1 p.m. And also you can find Lou on Bros Like Us, Pros Like Us on Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music. Everything you like to hear, Lou be giving the knowledge.
Yeah, we go around the NFL. We interview some prospective college players coming into the draft. Have a lot of fun. Pick games during the course of the year. So it's just kind of a broad range as far as the NFL is concerned. So yeah, we appreciate anything you can do to lift us up. Give it a listen.
So also that Coach Dre with the funny takes. He's gonna be. You can find him at Coach Dre on Twitter. Hey, we all here as family. We all here as one. Just subscribe away and share away. Because
Dre, so let me piggyback off what you just said, boss. Coach Dre show Hollywood. The Coach Dre show, guys. We gonna see a plethora of funny stuff from your boy and from Mr. Hollywood himself. Okay, I'm putting a plethora of great content coming, guys. Hey, it make you laugh, jiggle, and wiggle. All right. So again,
so again, guys, go ahead and go on YouTube, subscribe at Chiefs Blitz. We all family. We all four guys in the bar, just having fun, speaking speaking, talking about sports, all sports.
Absolutely.
So with that said, guys, we will be back Friday at noon. See you guys then. Please, again, please subscribe away.